Well, I was driving down the A15 and I saw this large sign pointing Historic Church, Brauncewell. So I thought, oh, I've got to give this one a go. So I turned off and went down this rickety lane that seemed to go on forever and ever, undulating up and down. Eventually, I found the church. There it stood, in the middle of a field full of cows, and no other buildings anywhere near it. Brauncewell was a small village, not more than a hamlet, and it has this redundant church of All Saints. The village was noted in the Domesday Book of 1086, at which time it had a manor house with 2 curates living by it. South of the church is a field known as Home Close, and if you look at the field you can easily see the up and down formations that were the foundations of buildings that made up the medieval village of Brauncewell, now covered completely by turf. Several of these now collapsed buildings were visible as late as the 19th century. Among them, one was thought to have been the original vicarage. The village of Brauncewell was actually founded well before the Domesday Book of 1086. It flourished during the early medieval period and only began to slow in its decline in the 14th century. Population dropped, and then grew once more in the Elizabethan period. The church was rebuilt. Once more the population declined, until by the 18th century only one family lived in Brauncewell. A few houses stood there, and they thought, okay, let's build the church again. So it was rebuilt in the Victorian period. There has undoubtedly been a church at Brauncewell since the Saxon period. The oldest feature of All Saints Church is a grave slab in the nave that dates sometime between the 10th and 12th century, and the church also retains its original 16th century octagonal font. The remainder mainly comes from the 19th century rebuild. Unsurprisingly, given the few families that remain, the church was declared redundant in 1973 and is now in the care of the Lincolnshire Churches Trust. I popped back into my vehicle and drove down the rickety lane, saying goodbye to the Church of All Saints in what was once Brauncewell, Lincolnshire.